This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so 3 days ago, when I'd done the video on this whole Eddie Hearn leaving Sky Sports situation to go with DAZN, as I said to you in that video, I've been holding on to certain information for at least the last few weeks, couple of months even. And it wasn't until 3 days ago that I was given a little bit more information from different third parties that things started to click together. That's why I've done the video 3 days ago. It's no coincidence that I did it before it hit the mainstream. It hit the mainstream yesterday. Now, anybody who has been following me for a little while, you've heard me mention this before, that if I'm told things in confidence, it's always going to stay confidential. It doesn't matter what it is, but certain things will eat away at me to the point where my therapy is putting it out on video. Once I put it out on video, that's it, it's off my mind. I can relax and get on with my everyday life. Okay, that's just, for whatever reason, that just seems to be my therapy when it comes to having information. Now, 3 days ago, when I did that video, of course, yes, I was wording it quite carefully, where I was saying, you really don't have to look on it as I have inside information, take it as a rumor. And I was doing a lot of what ifs in that video. Why? Because I didn't want to break the confidence of anybody, and of course I can't put a source in the description box. I always like to do that. I feel like I'm naked if I don't put a source in the description box to back up any things that I talk about in video. So yes, I was walking in the dark almost, and I didn't want to give any of you the impression that I'm like many of these other YouTubers, inside information. Yeah, of course it is. Because that would have been the reaction for the most part, wouldn't it? Inside information, oh, here we go, Sporting Icons, he's talking like these other channels do. Inside information, friends in the know, all that kind of thing. So that's why I said treat it as a rumour. So of course, since it came out yesterday in the mainstream that Eddie Hearn has in fact signed a 5-year deal with DAZN for millions upon millions, anything from 100 million all the way up to almost $1 billion. Who knows exactly what the figure is? No idea. The information that I didn't know about up until yesterday was the 5-year contract with DAZN. I didn't know about that. Likewise, I don't know what the plan for Sky Sports is going forward. I don't know any of that. All I can do is just guess and surmise and speculate. That's all I can do. But of course, when I was doing the video yesterday, like a follow-on to it, following the poll that I did here on YouTube, I said that if I was Sky Sports, this is what I would do. And of course, I was given like a lot of comments from what it is that you guys and girls were saying as well. But I was trying to do that video in a way that, from a Sky Sports perspective, because that's what I've been doing for 18 years straight, is pretty much doing things from a business perspective. For the last 4, maybe 5 years now, I've stepped away from that, but it's still in my everyday life. Everything is contingency plan. If I do this, well, what happens if it doesn't work out? A, B, and C. So when I look at this whole Sky Sports situation, I'm pretty confident when I say Sky Sports didn't see this coming. I think that with all the talk that Eddie Hearn has been going on about for the last year, 18 months, that as and when his contract with Sky Sports ends, is he going to go exclusive with DAZN? Now, he's never really hidden behind the fact that it will happen at some point. But he did say that he fully expects, and in his mind, he's fully confident that he's going to extend the deal with Sky. So you can imagine Sky Sports sat there right now going, what the hell? They're going to feel betrayed, aren't they? They're going to feel like, well, we gave you the platform. We gave you the opportunity. We gave you the investment. We believed in you. We've managed together to boost boxing here in the UK to a really, really high level. And now you just turn your back on us. Well, thanks very much. If you want loyalty, get a dog. You've heard that saying before about boxing. Now, they're going to be hurting about it. Do they have a contingency plan? Well, they've probably got some plans in place right now, but I think they're only just starting to make the plans. And that's the problem with it. That's the problem with it. And that's the flaw that Sky Sports need to look at themselves for. Everything should be ad hoc. Everything. You should always have a contingency plan for A, B, and C. That's my background for the best part of 18 years. So when you look at it from a Sky Sports perspective, which is why I did the video 2 days ago to follow on from the video 3 days ago, which is where I was speaking about potential candidates to replace Eddie Hearn, which is why I did the poll here on YouTube, which is why I went through certain candidates, and I was trying to do it from a Sky Sports perspective, not a personal perspective. Because if I did it personal, I'd be going, Phil Jeffries, Mark Clazel, they should definitely get the job. That's kind of like the narrative I would go, because obviously I'm from here in the Northeast. They're the people that I know. They're my pals. That's what I would do, okay? So I was trying to do it from a Sky Sports perspective. So maybe if, say, when I was speaking about Callis Howland, when I'm saying how Callis Howland, would he be in the running for it? Well, of course he'd be in the running for it. If Sky Sports didn't even consider Callis Howland along with Wasserman as even a candidate, then they're failing themselves, aren't they? They have to look at him. When I was talking about MTK Global, they have to consider them. But I was trying to do it from a business perspective as far as Sky Sports are concerned. Because as I said before, when I said it yesterday, if Sky Sports are not looking to continue with boxing, then get out right now. If you're looking to just continue with boxing and just see where it goes, get out now. If they're not even going to try, if they don't have the motivation to not only get back up and catch up with Eddie Hearn, but they need the motivation to exceed what it is that Eddie Hearn is going to do on Sky Sports. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, considering the budget that both of these are going to have. Much easier said than done, but they need to have the ambition. They need to have the ambition so in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, Eddie Hearn looks back and goes, I think I made a mistake leaving Sky Sports now. Now I'm the B-side in all of this. That's the motivation that they need to go for. Which is why I said about looking at it from a business perspective, how someone like a Al Siesta, who I've been petitioning for the last 2 or 3 years, I've made countless videos on Al Siesta saying he should be given some kind of product, he should be given some kind of platform, the budget, and see where he goes with it. Because what he does with the limited TV and the profile and the money, he's been doing fantastic. But of course, when I spoke about MTK Global, I know some people saying, well, you should definitely choose MTK Global. For me, I love MTK Global. They've never done me any harm. Don't get me wrong, they've never really done me a favour or anything, so why do I need to be sat here petitioning for them? Like, I don't need to do it with Al Siesta, I don't need to do it with Callis Howland, I don't need to do it with Pat Barrett, I don't need to do it with Frank Warren, I don't need to do it with Eddie Hearn, I don't need to do it with anybody. Okay, I'm not sponsored by anybody, I'm not paid by anybody or anything like that, so I'll give you my perspective. And my perspective is, when we look at, say, MTK Global, for example, would Sky Sports, would they look at MTK Global and go, well, do we need to give you the entire platform as the main promoter? Do we need to do that? Because there could be some kind of conflicts within it, because MTK, of course, they have MTK fighters who are not on Sky Sports, such as Tyson Fury, such as Josh Taylor, such as quite a few other people. So Sky Sports would look at it from that perspective. Maybe there's a perspective as well. Would MTK want that job? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I have no idea, okay? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. The whole Panorama situation, that hasn't helped the case at all. That's how you look at it. For me, I've been a huge advocate of MTK for a long, long time. A huge advocate of them. Because what they're doing for boxing and boxers is phenomenal. They're doing things that other people should have been doing a long time ago. The man management, looking after them legally, looking after them financially, looking after their career-wise. People should have been doing this long before MTK Global came along. And they have come in and they have done phenomenal. They've managed to secure themselves the ESPN deal. That's phenomenal. So they should certainly be a candidate. Of course they should. But of course, certain things, you have to look at it from a business perspective with Sky. I said with the whole Panorama thing. Personally, I don't think MTK have done anything wrong whatsoever. I think they're perfectly legit. I know a lot of people don't feel that way. But again, that's the angle that Sky Sports are going to look at it from. And it's unfortunate that way. It really is, because I think MTK could do a very, very good job. They really could. You could look at Callis Howland, as I said before. He looks good, he talks good, he's entertaining, he's funny. And yes, of course, he knows boxing. But of course, he knows it from, well, his business model from the background is Germany, isn't it? Team Sauerland, German-based. Yes, he's done the World Boxing Super Series, but the World Boxing Super Series, yes, he was getting the credit. Yes, he was the face of the World Boxing Super Series, but it was the likes of Al Siesta who was putting on a lot of these fights. It was him that was convincing Alexander Usyk and Murat Gassiev and Maris Bradis and whatever to enter the tournament. It was him that was doing it. But Al Siesta wasn't getting the credit, which goes back to the point originally why I'm saying that he should at least be given at least a role here. Now, if I was Sky Sports, what would I do? There's so many different things, and there's a couple of safety nets that they really need to look at as well. And again, I'm doing it from a business perspective, where you do need the contingency plans. You do need to look at it and go, okay, well, if we try this, well, what happens if it doesn't work out? Are they going to want to hit the ground running to automatically rival DAZN? Of course they want to do that. Is it likely to happen? No. And that's the reality of it. It isn't. Does Ed Robinson, does Adam Smith, does anybody within Sky Sports look at this and not worry? Well, they should be worried. They should be worried. But there are fail-safes. There are fail-safes. Ed Robinson, give me a call. Get Sky Sports to follow me on Twitter and we'll set it up. But the thing is, when it comes to what Sky Sports do next, they need to look at everything. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know what they're going to do. Probably what they're going to do is probably look at the first 12 months from July 1st onwards for the next 12 months. Maybe they're going to give a handful of promoters X amount of money, X amount of dates. So they all have the same amount of money each. They all have the same amount of dates for the 12-month period. See where it goes. See how the fans' reaction are to it in 12 months' time as to which fans gravitate to which shows more than the other ones. See where it goes. That's probably one of the safe plans, isn't it? That's like the safety net of one of them. There's plenty of different safety nets. I know a lot of people would love it if they could do, say, give MTK Global, say, I don't know, example, 10 shows a year. Al Siesta, 10 shows a year. Callis Allen, 10 shows a year. Mick Hennessy, 10 shows a year. Dennis Hobson, 10 shows a year. See where it goes. See who has the ambition. See who comes across on the TV in a way that the fans gravitate towards. That's probably the best way to do it right now. That's probably the way that they would do it. At a guess. Again, no inside information on that. I have no idea what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to walk away from boxing. No idea. And I think if they don't have the ambition to continue where they are, or at least get back to where they currently are, then don't bother. Don't bother. Just walk away. Walk away from boxing. There's no point. But there are plenty of candidates around. Would it be a good idea to bring in, say, Al Heyman? In my opinion, no. Absolutely not. Because he's not up front and he's not centre, is he? He's a ghost in the boxing world. We know he's there, but we can't see him. We don't hear him speak. We don't know what his thoughts are. We don't know what his plans are. He gets associates of his to speak in front of the camera. Like, there's quite a few of them. Lou DiBella and that in the past, and quite a few other ones, Leonard Ellaby. But they could look at, say, Bob Arum. Well, Bob Arum ain't getting any younger. I like Bob Arum. I spoke with him a few times, but he ain't getting any younger. And of course, he's got a very good association with Frank Warren, Queensbury, who's with where? BT Sport. So where do you go? Well, you have to look at the ones who do have influence on the British scene. The British scene has to be Sky Sports' priority. It has to be. There's no point looking over at what Al Heyman is doing. There's no point looking over at what Bob Arum and that's doing. There's no point bringing in, say, Kathy Duver. You need people who know the British market. But you also need those people who have outside influences as well, where they can influence certain situations, where they can contact certain fighters, where they can bring foreign fighters onto the platform. And you do need to build them. And a focus should be, and should always be, prospects. That's where you build them up. You boost their profile. That's what you do. You make new pay-per-view fighters. We know that this whole deal with Eddie Hearn and Sky Sports and DAZN doesn't include what Dillian Whyte does in future. Doesn't include what Anthony Joshua does in future. So the pay-per-view model is going to be there. Would Anthony Joshua decide at some point to go exclusively with DAZN? Maybe. Would Dillian Whyte decide to go exclusively with DAZN? Maybe. But if Sky Sports can keep hold of these guys, well, it's going to do them much better as far as the pay-per-view is concerned. But they do need to look at their whole team as well. There's so many different things that they need to do. This is a good opportunity. They've got the platform. They've currently got the subscribers. You just need to build on it. You need to look at the things that the fans are unhappy with. Now, because I don't believe that they have done in the past, or certainly recently, they haven't really been looking at what fans want. They haven't been doing it, which is why things haven't been improving. If anything, they've been declining. And it's not because of the content of the shows. Of course, that is a big part of it. But it's other things that need to change. And it's just little tweaks. It's not things that's going to cost them a fortune to do. And yes, you do need someone within the Sky Sports setup, whether it be Ed Robinson or Alan Smith, whoever it is that's going to be making the decisions, to stand up and go, right, this is what we're going to be doing. This person, sorry, we don't need you anymore. Here's a bit of redundancy. You, we're going to bring you in. But there's so many different ways of looking at it. So right now, Sky Sports are going to be panicking right now. Sky Sports probably going to be very angry right now. You're going to be looking at MTK Global. You're going to be looking at Al Siesta. You're going to be looking at Kalle Sauerland and Dennis Hobson and Mick Hennessy and all these other kind of promoters. With them rubbing their hands thinking, oh, good opportunity here. Because again, Eddie Hearn has always been the front man. Now there's an opportunity for any one of them to be the front man. But who's going to be the front man? As I said before, the choice should be pretty obvious. But again, I mean, that's down to Sky Sports as to what they do. Because ultimately, like anything in life, if you don't give me the product that I'm currently paying for, I will walk away. If DAZN are giving me what Sky Sports are not, then I will quite happily, and I'll do it with a smile on my face, cancel my Sky Sports and just watch DAZN and BT Sport. That's what I'll do. It's no skin off my nose, because there's a good chance I'm probably going to be saving a bit of money. So if you want to keep my subscription, like the rest of you as well, give us the content that we want. Listen to us. This is your opportunity. Everyone listening to this video right now, go onto your social media and let Sky Sports know what it is that you want. And they need to listen. If they don't, oh well, the only people that they're really going to hurt is themselves, isn't it, long run? Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.